Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. 10 things I miss about Shanghai. So I'm Jim. I taught English and lived in China for about 2 years, right up until 2020. And there are many things I miss about living there. Uh, Once you've had that experience of living overseas, for some people it gets tougher to come back to your home country. Everything seems to kind of pale in comparison to that experience and lifestyle, being an expat overseas. And the memories will make you a little restless and hungry for more. So I've been thinking about returning later this year or early next year, depending on how it goes with the timing for when my seasonal job finishes. So let's get right into it. Number one, the food culture. So number one, the food culture. Now it's no secret China has one of the best food cultures in the world. If you grew up in the US like me, then you most likely have eaten a lot of American style Chinese food. When you're in China, you're going to get the real deal. There's so many dishes to try from the different regions of the country. Trying restaurants and street stalls is always an adventure, and you're going to be amazed. It makes it difficult to go back to just the American style Chinese places, though I love American style Chinese places too. Being back in the States, I miss all of the dishes I became used to while I was in China, and that you can't find very often on a menu in the US. Personally, I could just do a food tour, spend a few weeks or a few months or something just traveling around China, trying different kinds of food, and that would be the best. Number two, the social harmony, the culture, the kindness of the people, the hospitality to people from other countries. If you're from the US, traveling to China will kind of blow your mind in this way as well. The hospitality is on another level from what we're used to, and it's interesting to see a culture that's unified. One half of the country doesn't have ill will against the other half, as we are experiencing these days in the US. It's refreshing to have a level of social harmony. I think it's something in Chinese culture too. From a young age, they're instilled with kind of a sense of duty to do the best for their country, for their community. And we don't always see this in the US, unfortunately, where it seems many people are out for themselves, or from the corporations, there's often a cutthroat kind of culture. So number three is taking in the history, seeing how the city has developed and changed over the past 20 years, but also preserving its character, history, and culture. Just that sense of witnessing history unfold, learning about where the city was in the past and how it has grown and developed. It's pretty cool to be on the ground there, see it with your own eyes. To put it simply, it's an exciting place to be. It's definitely the place to be, in my opinion. All right, number four. The lifestyle I have in China. You can have your own apartment for very cheap, great modern style apartment with a lot of space. Often I had a balcony, a nice view, more space than I'm used to in the States. And you can live in a great place. It doesn't break the bank. It's less stressful when your rent takes only a small part of your paycheck, and you actually have some money to do things, like take trips, enjoy life, without stressing out about it so much. Number five, safe neighborhoods. Being able to walk anywhere and discover a new neighborhood or area. After spending years in cities in the US where I could only afford an apartment in a sketchy area, it's amazing to have this feeling of safety. I didn't even realize there's a kind of trauma we carry from living in places that aren't safe. And it took me a while to relax, get over that sense of keeping your head on a swivel, always watching your back. Having been the victim of street robberies in places like Chicago, knowing people who were victims of crime and who were not so lucky as me, I really appreciate this environment of safety and peace. Number six, seeing China with your own eyes. Instead of having a lying media force feed you misinformation and lies to try to shape your opinion, try to get you to feel negatively about a place, I'm a firm believer in seeing a place with your own eyes, having your own experience, and always questioning everything you hear from the news media, from politicians. It's always slanted in a way to manipulate and mold your opinion. When you have a personal experience in a place, you can more easily see through the BS. So number seven, the chance to learn another language and be immersed in it. Trying to speak some Mandarin, people always appreciate it. This for me is one of the fun parts of living in China. I love languages, just making the effort, trying to learn and improve, hold basic conversations with people, make a joke or something. For me, that's a fun part of the experience of being there. Number 8, signing up for a day trip. There are many of these. Like you meet the bus in the city center, like in Shanghai, for example. Head out on some travel adventure for the day with people from China and international travelers, other ESL teachers. I had an overnight bus trip to Huangshan or Yellow Mountain. That was pretty amazing. And a day trip riding a bike around Changsha Island, a place famous for growing oranges just off the east coast of Shanghai there. And there are a lot of opportunities to do this kind of thing. Take a day trip with a group of Chinese travelers and international travelers. I had a fun experience and would definitely do more of these. Number 9, the welcoming culture. Many people will help you. Will always say like, welcome to China. They make you feel welcome there. The bicycle day trip, I had to Changsha Island all day long as we rode around the island and came across locals. They would smile, wave, shout hello. We would laugh, they would laugh. Whatever you're doing in the city, people are generally pretty friendly, helpful. And I miss that kind of welcoming, friendly culture. Seeing people smile. Sometimes they want to chat with you, practice their English. So number 10, the ease of saving money. The affordability of housing, cheap costs of traveling around China. It's great to have a feeling you're being paid decently for the work you're doing, and it's easy to save. You have a great quality of life for cheap, and you feel a lot less economic stress. We see the effects of how a great deal of economic pressure destroys people's health, causes them to turn towards outlets that aren't the best for their health, drugs, drinking, other kinds of self-abuse, just to escape the pressure for a while. Less stress equals overall better physical and mental health. And so I greatly appreciate that when I'm living in China. Now, will I go back to Shanghai? Yes, there's a good chance I may teach in another city for a while, but at this time, I do feel my heart is in Shanghai, so I hope I can return there soon. If you've lived in Shanghai or another city you dream of returning to, what are some things you miss about the experience? So let me know if you've lived in Shanghai. Love to hear your impressions of the city. Okay, that's it for this one. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to bang the bells to keep in touch and consider dropping a like and subscribing. And thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.